Here we are for some Danganronpa. Danganronpa. So, our investigation has concluded. We are now ready to take on the flash trial. Now, things to me seem a little bit obvious, but we just gotta run it. Because, sometimes it just...
Monokuma appears!
What the heck? You just multiply?
Wrong.
Nope, it just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it looks like I'm multiplied. Can we get on the elevator already?
Boy, tough crowd.
You're not playing along.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you. Okay, fine.
Hey!
If everyone here is here ready to go, please board the pain train or elevator. I'll see you guys now.
Let's go.
Shall we?
What the heck?
You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, hero. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I told you already. I didn't do it. For serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume or the note? I know well, but how unfortunate. Then it seems we have our culprit.
Hey.
No, it's her. Just gonna put that one out there. This is no place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we go into courtroom.
That's right.
She's right. Let's get down there first. Then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Kafumi and Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and the two that lost their lives. The killer is someone right here. Let us go. Danganronpa. Well, I see you've all gathered here together like this. I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax. Only because of you. Wow, you're making us do such cruel things to each other. Whoa. What? Do you really hate me so much? But I'm so cute.
Come on.
Stop goofing around and begin the trial. Don't rush me. Of course I'm going to start it. I would never be like, stay tuned for the action-packed fast trial after this commercial break. I never hold out on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get in your assigned seats. Let us begin. I don't think I have anything else. I don't. That's fine. Finish preparations. All right.
Let's begin with a basic. If you can figure out who done it, then I'll punish everyone beside.
Yeah, we know.
We already know who was that.
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found it in that suit.
Don't try and deny it. You killed.
I didn't.
God,
Someone
she's
knocked
so
me
simple.
out. I was asleep the whole time.
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
How are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite convincing. It points to you as having created the suit.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know. I don't know.
Is Hiro really the killer, or before anything else, we have to make that clear? Make your argument.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's like not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't
I don't know
know about
anything
this.
about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
But she's saying blueprints.
Everything we found in your room.
Okay,
The
it would
blueprints,
be yes,
the
here's
suit
message.
parts, they are all proof enough that you are the
Damn it.
culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why?
So,
No, just hold on a second.
yeah, I'm losing time like a mother.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough
What the hell? God damn,
that you
this thing.
are the culprit.
Sometimes.
I don't know anything about that stuff. It's not true. It's a conspiracy.
Hero, why? Why did you kill them?
No, just hold on a second.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
Wait, that's wrong.
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them. Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on. I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
Okay, down here.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit?
It
Is
was
it like
him.
Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
No.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
Of course he does it.
Say?
Yeah. The Illuminati.
I got it!
It
Other
was
than
Hero.
I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes.
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Why are you playing me like a pansy? I got it! There's still one more thing. I think they were used to make Taka's body. They must have been the blue tarp and the repository dolly.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right? It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room.
There we go. Perfect.
So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved
I need
Taka's
some
body.
water.
That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing.
Same thing.
I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
Huh.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along and you simply didn't realize it?
She's
Can't
raised
throw
an
us off.
objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway.
Oh,
We have
Celeste.
all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
What? Just in case. Reloading. Starting with this next time, we're adding one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Well, son of a bitch. Oh,
You
no.
have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst.
Shoot. I was a little confused, huh? Nobody believes me. If I had a mouse, this would be so much easier. Blah, 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 blah.
I refuse to give up yet.
I might not do this again, that's all I have to say.
cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
God,
You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree.
dang it, I gotta call it. Must be
So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch.
What is...
I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. You miserable wretch. You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Wow, I squeaked that one out.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here.
If you're looking for some proof that the dolly moved, I have it right
When
here.
I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it. That the killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's...
Jeez, Celeste really gave me that.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Alright, so we got...
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong.
That's wrong! You can't bend at the waist.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even
What?
bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it,
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
well,
That's such a small
what's to
business.
stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean,
Isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no way it was taken off. You can't take it off.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember.
I'm gonna say real quick because I'm about to die. So I'm gonna start taking it back. Why would you make something think about yourself? I didn't make this stupid freaking thing. There's a clasp in the back that's keeping me from getting it off. It looks pretty sturdy. You can't get it off on your own. You really have no choice. That's happening.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear,
The music is
whoever
bomb.
did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
She's the only one, like,
You
so...
all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said? So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Bro,
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second.
she's such a simp.
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides,
Carrie Geary.
there's no hurry
Let the
to
real
decide
girl
who
talk.
did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we, instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle?
Perhaps. But where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't
Yeah, it is.
disagree, but our lives are on the line.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right, then. Let's take another look back at what I suppose we could... Four of us gathered together. We waited
No,
that
I'm
long.
not going through
Soon,
this.
I know it wasn't.
I already know everything.
that was when we saw as it also suit.
She already
We
went
were
through all
suit.
this.
He was in, but not long.
She literally went through all this.
When Celeste told us that, and soon after,
I saw.
It's also less saying stuff like, you can't put them two
and
together.
then, at that point we decided Celeste, Hina, and I went back while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toki. When we got back to the nurse's office, and that's when we heard the body. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the third floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time.
Well, then
Because
that
we
was
heard
why.
the same announcement not long after we discovered his...
But then we heard
And
another
that's
one.
when I told you. Then the three of us headed for. But right after we left, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. We rushed back to the nurse.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko past... But when we got there, next thing we knew, we were hand out.
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed, which is where we rediscovered.
I think that about cut.
I see. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well,
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of. Now then, let's get started.
Broken wristwatch.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
No, it's wrong.
You say that.
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if what perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
Got it.
no, that's wrong.
That's wrong.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers.
Exactly.
If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Broken wristwatch. It stopped. Wristwatch, yeah. This reminds me of like those
Now I understand.
like old computer games you used to do the
I
weird
got it.
stuff.
Taka's wristwatch. See? Look,
It's broken.
it broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
it must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer, because as of last night, so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
Huh.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
It's simple facts. Look, we made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That
Right.
may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe. heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse. That's totally true.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on.
If that's true, where's the...
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then.
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body, because, as we just established, she was passed...
Besides, I didn't do either of them any... In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched
He wasn't
everywhere,
dead.
but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body and according to what Celeste said, his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What if?
What? How?
If the dead body were to move itself.
The dead body moved...
No! No.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
You have a few clues on that one. He wiped off his glasses for his blood.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
no, that's wrong.
That is wrong.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma thinks
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh?
There was.
Later on?
There was.
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice. I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered after a certain amount of time. Which you may use however you like to press however you like.
Didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet, meaning he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of... There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive and...
Oh, I think he was never gonna find Dad! Bada bing, bada boom!
that is the worst luck. But honestly, I do not think
Okay then, let's take another look at the events, then it should become
this whole thing.
Yeah, it is pointless. Glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
Get it! Yes!
No, that's wrong.
That is wrong. His glasses.
In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Because he had to wipe off his glasses.
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the items he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office. I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean.
Aha.
And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggle.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi. What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Well, it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Wouldn't you say?
If he was just... What was with all that blood?
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of...
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere. But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done. God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious.
Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository, but when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside, which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who'd just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means...
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you what?
There's
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to you know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off.
Oh, yeah.
I got it!
The note.
You're talking about the note he found. That's right. He found it stuffed in his pants.
Yes.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
See, then this note isn't the same. In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro, and that person could only have been...
Hifumi's pants.
I got it! That's right.
Just
The
kidding.
killer used...
Hello, over here.
Objection,
I don't
objection.
really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that. So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok. They were drawing out Huffy.
Just to be clear,
Oh, yes. Why must you ruin it every time?
Boom, boom, boom.
Spotless hammer. That's the only thing else.
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy.
But remember what the note said.
Okay.
What time did it say to me?
6 a.m.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Damn it. Alright, so it's...
Huffy had the note,
Roast
right?
avocado.
Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy.
But remember what time did it say to me?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter. The note has nothing to do with TikTok.
Hold on a second.
No, they're absolutely...
What the hell are you talking?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. You've already proven, but there's more. Look where the equipment room.
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely...
Well, when you put it like that.
No further objections.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing?
Stuffed down his pants.
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means
Yeah.
Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Oh my gosh, the
Sorry,
scrap.
no. When we found him in the second body
So then,
Who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the
The
mastermind.
true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transport.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus.
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway,
Walrus.
when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was the culprit, would have had to then put the hammer back, but wouldn't that be
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Semblance.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right, though. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed, but if the hammers were already laying around those other
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were
None.
accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Let's see what we got. Spotless hammer.
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Maybe Justice
Well,
Hammer 4.
Whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Maybe.
Shoot!
Shoot.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
Was it Justice? Maybe Justice.
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody witness? Sounds like a Justice Hammer! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well,
She's
one
funny.
thing
I
seems
like that.
pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice
No, that's wrong.
No, it's wrong.
Right.
The murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris, but for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma Files note about the...
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that was the two killers. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there isn't so the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
It's not one of these.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and assuming the rule holds true. It is...
Got it.
No, it's wrong.
That is wrong, sir. Miss, madam, whatever you are.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. There's no point in however, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime, and based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he could...
So in
You
this
mother-
case, there wasn't one single person committing. Instead, Each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how a single suspicious individual, by creating one seamless set of circumstances.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go, and then to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice, which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
But that's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
She really is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved.
That's problem no.
Here's my answer.
I got it.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious. I really do hope
A joke? I want...
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work the idea that I would choose to spend that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brain fat, lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardon-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were...
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the only one.
Shush. As he said,
Sorry.
only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual,
You
correct?
simple bitch.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, once she'd done her job of getting us all, it was time for her part.
Yep.
It was to get us to divide into two groups.
In fact,
This was an easy one. The second one, that was a little bit different, but this one,
well,
easy.
and on top of that, that was to signal Hifumi. It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor. Everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another when we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead. Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our...
I don't believe it.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah? I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh,
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it. Looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was... I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
Dang.
I remember her saying that too, but
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste. And now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Oh, shoot.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Gotta be Celeste's turn.
all I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
No! Damn it. That's not what I want to do.
Shoot. All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. Shoot.
Here, I know what
All
you
I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was, they must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like...
Got it.
No, it's wrong.
That is wrong.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for her.
So how did you know so? How did you know more than one person had been killed? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
You all have such vivid
Imagination.
You claim that I was lying when... Then what about the picture I took? How do you
This girl.
explain this picture of...
It has to be some kind of... So let's put the suit on. And then...
Have you so quickly forgotten? Yes, I happen to... In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean?
Surely there are other explanations.
No, there is no other...
No. No.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it... And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be...
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him out.
Is it? I don't think...
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just dragged me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that. Shoot!
Oh, so it was
You
this.
dressed me up in that suit after I passed out. Then you just dragged me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight.
Interesting. What? That's exactly what I could do.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bet.
I'm not so sure. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuck
Got
Hiro
it.
into it. That's how they were able to fake that. The point of it all was to make us believe that.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? So clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay died? When we asked him who had attacked him, he said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell?
Kyoko,
Think back to how did he refer to each of us?
I got it!
He said people's last
That's
names.
right. Our last names. He called us all by our last names.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just indecent.
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any...
So Hifumi was trying to tell us that.
But the name he said doesn't apply to...
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit. Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather. Yasuhiro is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I? What? I think I've earned the
Okay, then
Make sure my real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please?
Let's see our e-handbook then, miss.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste.
how many times would I have to name? Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me,
You do.
no, that's wrong. That's it.
what?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up. What Monokuma told us all. So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up That's how we can find out Celeste's real.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please. Just tell.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what.
Fine then. Let me go over the case again. And that'll bring.
Here we go. What? Come back to this one. One AM. What the flip would that be? What the hammer? Yep, the other thing. Put him in the suit. see the last one? Isn't it? It's the only one I can think. Well, son of a bitch.
I refuse to give up yet.
You took top so far. Okay, so. It wasn't the hammer. It wasn't this. This one. I think it was that. Definitely not the ball. Maybe leave this one up? That's the only thing I can think of. And this one has to be...
The killer is you! Before anything.
So,
Here's exactly what happened. Before anything, the killer
and that person was Hafumi. Oh. But how did they like read it?
First, they convinced someone to meet them in the... That someone they met with was a murderous duo intended to pass Hero off. They drugged him, knocked him... Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo Justice was attacking, while the killer used a digital... They did all this just to... When they were done with it, they shoved...
No,
and then
Taka.
finally, They called Taka to...
But he has a Sharingan.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was just his hammer 4. The reason hammer... So, next for these attacks, the first fake incident was there. The killers wanted us to see just his hammer. They wanted to make sure we bought this. The second fake incident was the attack in the lot. This time, they planted just with these 2 incidents. The kill that the suspect was in, we fell right into their...
Got it.
While we did, this was exactly what he took a blood packet from the refrigerator and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had apparently been brutal. He let out a scream to draw us back. Meanwhile, so when we heard the body discovered, we left the nurse's office. He simply got up when we learned his body had disappeared, and once again, he left Taka's body, and that explains how... But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened. Celeste, sorry, you lose.
You lose. You simple bitch.
I lost? When was the last time? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. Celestia Taiko. Yasuhiro is fine.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
In truth.
She was faking the whole time. Hey. Give me them Coomer coins.
Okay, Monokuma.
I'm ready to
Or,
begin.
I suppose this is...
It is indeed the moment if you would, please. And when the votes are tallied, will you make the right choice or the dreadful...
We already know who it is. Shimpo.
Honestly,
I lost. Well, that sucks.
I knew it. So then... Indeed?
Say what?
Just a second. In other words,
Indeed.
I see.
Actually... Are you okay with it? So then...
Damnation! Say what?
As for me...
Oh.
As for me...
What? nation!
What an idiot.
Say what?
He would never go that far.
Completely unforgivable!
Most unfortunate.
Hmm?
Actually,
What?
indeed.
Completely.
Honestly.
I swear, I will save her!
Actually,
Hmm?
I see.
indeed.
But
Let's see.
Ugh.
Well,
Are you okay with this? Hmm.
so in the end,
What the heck? Well,
Don't be mean.
I wonder about that. Why? What the heck?
But
You little bitch! Hey! You little bitch! This is fine. Honestly. As for me, isn't it wonderful?
This girl. I liked you for a second. Like vampires, what a weirdo.
This is fine. There is nothing to be done. Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but you're really able to kill your friends.
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think of nothing in sacrificing others for my
do
own.
you
I care nothing.
understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete.
What is this?
Why would you be so calm?
Yes, indeed. Isn't it wonderful?
hey,
Chills! Chills! Now then, let's get...
I guess I'll let
Ultimate
Hero hold
liar.
on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? Which is why, actually,
Well then, take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again in another life.
And just like that, Celeste has been found guilty by me, the ultimate simp. Celestia, you Ludenberg. Burn her at the stakes. Versailles switch. You know, I wonder when they bring these people like back in the day if they really had like a excuse for it. Whether they just bring them back then. You know, I don't think very much has changed. I still rule the world. Just a different life. I hope that's comforting for you. You little. These are all really good and very cinematic. I like them. The art style, everything about it. Sucks though. Just kidding. Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut their regrets from the outside world, so people had to die. You guys are still young. You need to place more value in your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of
What
here!
do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash for you to let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. It's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna keep us going through this? What do you want from us? God, I'm so sick of people asking you that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, carefully, I see some kind of key type object from Celeste.
Hey!
So what's the deal with that?
Wah-wah?
What's
So
the matter?
then-
I'll answer your questions if you answer mine. What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What? Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh. How
Oh
exciting.
man. Oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now?
Hello.
Things are getting kind of awkward. I think it's time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go around enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya. What?
See ya. Nakuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope.
So,
Hey,
indeed.
Indeed. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. We approached the dressing room. She looked back at us and said, I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else head to the dining hall. I'll check with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going on?
So,
Do you even have to ask?
Come on.
What? Goodbye.
Thank you, Byakugan.
Well,
Byakugan!
Yo!
Ooh, I think we're thinking
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I tried to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall. Even me, Kyoko, and Erlen.
Shall we go?
Shall we go?
So then,
We need to get in that locker.
you. However. What? Indeed. What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's all I want you to tell me. I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. And
It's true.
And maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Okay?
That's fine.
Fine, I'll tell you. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, but frankly it blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was almost unbelievable. So I waited for nighttime to come, and when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
What the heck? But Monokuma must know that this exists. You know? So is he playing us? Gashunk.
Correct.
There's two things in here. So there's a bunch of files. They're covered in dust. What is this? You must not leave? That's kind of weird. My head feels funny. A strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before. I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? That's obviously the traitor? Everything's gone. From the gym? What's going on? take a little peek.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare this wasn't part of the deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
But you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
The mastermind spy is Sakura? A next generation legend. Stand tall, galactic hero. The end. We're down to 7. To be continued. Super Robo Justice. Mian killed Siaka. Monokuma killed Junko. And Nathan got executed. Then Mondo killed Chihiro. And then he got executed. Fumi killed Taka. Celeste killed Fumi. And she got executed. And that brings us up to now.
Indeed.
Loneliness has become commonplace. That's true. So, what did I see yesterday? I don't understand. Sakurai is the mastermind spy? Can that really be true? I told her, are you okay? No, I'm fine. I can't bring it up in front of the others. If I did that, it would just confuse everyone that much more. Okay, in that case, that's all you to be passed out. What do you mean in that case? Well, because look how scary everyone looks. It's got to be because you're all fighting on empty stomachs, right? If you feel your belly, I'm sure you'll cheer up slightly. Let's grab some fish and donuts and eat till we can't stand up. That's like deep impact style, meteor impact extinction level event combination of foods. What? Those are both breakfast time top sellers. Fish? That must be an overseas thing. Still. Till we can't stand up, part of the problem, after we're done, we need to go explore.
I see.
That's right, since the class trial is over, new areas should have opened up.
It's true.
Plus, we still have alter ego. We don't have to give up into despairness yet. She's right. We have a plan ahead. To think about
You
the
got
future. Yeah. Think happy thoughts, not deadly thoughts.
You know?
Like, when are we gonna get out of here, right? When this
Serious.
is all over, I think I'm gonna get reborn for serious. Or, I mean, reborn as someone serious.
Well,
Huh, are you okay? That sounds like someone who's about to die would say. Great. Because there aren't going to be any more murders. What makes you so
According
sure?
to the
I
spirits,
predicted it last night. Since it revealed itself to me from the ether, there's no doubt about it.
However,
How accurate is your fortune telling anyway?
how about that?
I can usually hit 20 or 30% on a good day. It seems really
It's
low.
not like some
well,
occult
it's not
mystery.
Like ESP or whatever. Of course I'm going to get it right sometime.
The occult is
I told you, the
bullcrap.
fortune teller isn't like some occult thing.
So,
Fortune telling isn't a cult.
Got it all
Of
wrong.
course not. Clairvoyance is clairvoyance. Don't put me in the same category as cattle mutation. Cattle what?
So,
Mutilation, sorry. He's referring to the urban legend where aliens abduct cows and dissect them as part of their research.
Actually,
Now you're calling it an urban legend. As a matter of fact, it's true. As a matter of fact, it happened to me. It all happened one day when I went to go get a hamburger. There was a place I'd never been before. They claimed their pays were 100% all beef. So I got a burger to go and headed home.
but
Before
the end is
long,
nigh.
the sky was filled with mysterious blinding light.
Some crazy beam came out of nowhere and locked onto my hamburger. And
What
as
the heck?
soon as the beam touched it, the burger started floating in midair, and it's still floating there. And one part of it just vanished, while the rest fell back into my hand. Do you realize it means The burger wasn't 100% beef. He must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70% pork and 30% beef would be... You can't trick me.
Oh my gosh.
How about that? Don't be mean.
How dare you? You do think so. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, I hope your prediction turns out to be true. Well, at the very least, I won't murder anyone. Me neither. I mean, I would never.
Of course.
Me either.
Indeed.
Shh. Yeah, okay. I could never kill any of my friends.
Well,
I wish Byakuya and Toko were here for this too, but they're hard to deal with. They only think about themselves. Chapter 4. All-Star Apologies. Well, I'm going to save here. Then we're going to continue a little bit later on. I got to go work out. I guess it works out. I hope it worked out. Alrighty then. See you guys later.